Awesome. Welcome back. Today, we are talking about the AI innovations in action, exploring Google's Gemma 3 and Ulta Beauty's digital transformation, how they leverage AI to create this wonderful experience throughout the whole company. And I'm excited again to always have our great friend here, Tony, who brings a wealth of knowledge in AI innovations and their practical applications across various industries. He's been instrumental in guiding businesses through digital transformation, leveraging cutting edge technology, and just driving growth and efficiency. So welcome back, Tony, from Focus Technologies.
Thanks, Kang.
So
Great.
when we were trying to figure out and determine this topic today, was just so many things happening in the news and so much tech, we just can't fit it in. But one thing I think that we really came to agreement on is Google's Gemma 3. So let's share, what is that?
Yep. So a couple of days back,
Amazon original movie by Nicholas Galaxy and Cinderella original.
Oh, I got my own AI talking to me because I asked a question. It's listening. Look, it's all around us.
Yeah. I was like, what happened to my voice? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So a couple of days back, Google released Gemma 3, which is the lightweight version. The good thing about it, and this is where I got so interested about that, was it's so lightweight and it comes with four flavors. And there's the smallest one is like 1 billion parameters, and it can literally run on anything, like any phone, right? So that's a game changer, I would say, because the organizations, when they start the AI journey, they were one of the things they had concerns were two things. One, the infrastructure cost. If they are they hosting it on their on-prem, they have the infrastructure cost, or if they are using the black box model, that also has costs associated with it. And second, they are transferring data outside of things, right? Now with this, you are actually having the model run on your local devices, which is like edge AI, right? You can literally run this model on phone or even on a computer. So that is a good thing. And it is already beating Llama 3 on a lot of the benchmarks. Still, a little bit behind DeepSeek R1, but this is really a game changer, I would say, which needs only one GPU, H100 GPU from NVIDIA. So that's cool.
I mean, it's multimodal, and the fact that
Yep.
it's on your device, the security, right, is
Yep.
a primary benefit.
Yep. Multimodal and multilingual, and it's all, it can understand 140 languages. That's what I read. And multimodal. I don't think the smallest version is multimodal. It's only text based, I believe. I didn't get a chance to play with it, but but at least the 27 billion model, the fourth flavor, that's definitely multimodal.
And the latency will be shorter too. I think there's a lot of
Oh
values
yeah,
just having it
yeah,
on your device.
yep.
I'm curious too,
So
so I speak Laotian, Tony, right? So
mhm,
there's not a lot of great tools.
mhm.
Now I try to use ChatGPT, even like Gemini, to teach my daughter to how to speak the language, and it was okay, but it wasn't doing a good job. So I think
Yeah,
having this model on your own isolated device, I think there's ways for you to fine tune it yourself
right.
and make it
Exactly.
work.
Yeah, you can actually find it. And it's an open source model, but again, I need to see how much is open source. They go through the license, but definitely what they say is like it's an open source model, which you can use it for downloading into your
Yeah.
edge devices.
It's new, but people go check it out. If you Google it, you'll find it. It's a Google
Yeah,
product, right? Gemma 3.
yeah,
I'm sure more to come. I mean, even though
yeah,
it's, and I believe just recently, the Flash 2 experimental thinking, Google
yep.
Thinking experimental came out, and I've
Mhm.
been using it that a little bit more than ChatGPT.
Right.
It's the natural language in it. I feel like it actually has a better output. So it
Yep.
just comes down to playing around with it.
Yep.
All right. So our big heading topic here, people always ask us, like, can you, besides what AI is, can you give me some real use cases? Like, make it real, make it relatable, and like, no. So
Right.
let's unpack. So today we wanted to unpack Ulta Beauty. They're doing an excellent job using AI, and they've been using it for quite some time. Tony.
Yep.
So like, of all the endless things that they're doing, what's one of the topics you want to tackle?
Yeah, so Ulta Beauty, it's I know they were one of the early adapters of AI, and I think they started using AI back in 2018. Um, and right now they have a Glam Lab, which is a cool feature where you can the users can actually it's a virtual try-on. So it's a combination of AI plus AR technology, augmented reality, where the end user can actually try on different beauty products and see how it looks on them, right? So that's an amazing thing, and it's called Glam Lab. And the second one is, I believe there is a foundation shade matcher where you can, based on the skin tone and the undertone of the user, it gives you the perfect, the foundation shade recommendations. And that's a cool thing. And I think they also have a skin analyzer where, based on the skin of the end user, they can recommend beauty products, skincare products to them. um, and I know they have already an AI powered chatbot, which is cool, right? Which is good. And I see more and more companies with coming up with the customer facing chatbots, which are really intelligent, not rule based, and it can answer you, very human like language. So they have that, which is good for customer experience. And they have a beauty advisor too, based on and which what beauty advisor does is like they recommend, that's more personalization, right? Personalized recommendation based on the user preferences and their past purchases. So it's more personalized recommendations. So I think Ulta Beauty is one of those, that companies where, they have really utilized the potential of AI into their offerings.
Because like ultimately, like what all these different examples are unbelievable use cases.
Yeah.
What they really did, Tony, at the end of the day, right? They basically used AI to drive personalization with
Yep.
data. With data,
Hmm. Hmm.
they took all this data set, the skins, the tones, like they
Yeah.
looked at the loyalty programs, feedback. I mean, they're taking all this data, and a lot of companies have a lot of data. And you and I see this a lot. Oftentimes, they say, "What do we do with this data, Com? Like, how do I clean up? Where do I even begin starting?" Right? But it's like clean data in hopefully gives you clean data out. And
Yeah.
oftentimes, when we see AI is not working, it's because there's not good data coming in, coming out. So
Right.
when they're able to provide that, recommendation, um, because of like having good data and then personalizing it, what they saw was, by instead of having the data all isolated and then siloed, they were able to like pull it together, almost like a central brain, like this
Yep.
database,
Hmm.
and they achieved like this is amazing number here. They achieved a 95% of sales attributed to returning customers
Yep.
because I mean, that's that's crazy. Like I mean, 95%. I mean, companies would die for 10%, 20%, 30%. So I mean, just
Yep.
like again, if you're listening here and you're thinking about like where does AI help me when it comes to bottom line revenue, creating a good experience, it goes back to
Hmm.
like where you're setting your foundations of taking your data, and just taking insights
Yeah.
from your clients and what you have maybe in your CRM. So where can people start when they're thinking about this? They're like, okay, I have all this data right now, and I see how a company like Ulta's doing this. And again, you don't need to be an enterprise level company to start leveraging some of these capabilities to personalize experience for your brand or product?
Yeah.
Where do they begin with data cleanup?
I think the first question any organization starting the AI journey has to ask is my data ready for AI, right? And that's the first question because they might be sitting on a pile of data, but that data may not be, you know, clean or, quality wise, you have to make sure you have quality data that you can, leverage for AI, right? So that is the first question you need to ask. And, you need to come up with a strategy, again strategy when I talk to the customers I always go with strategy first. You need to have a strategy that is aligned to your business objectives. What do you want to achieve? So and that everything starts with strategy and then comes the data. You need to start asking, is my data ready for AI? And if not, you have to cleanse it, make sure your data is ready for AI. And those are the two things that are needed. And the third is you define success. What does success looks to me? Come up with a success criteria so that you can actually measure it, right? um, and fourth is responsible AI implementation. People. I was looking at one of the studies from one of the big four, and I saw that the respondents only 36% of them had data, thought about data, the quality of data, and another 35% of them only they were thinking of responsible AI, only 34% of them. So there is a big number out there who has not even thought about responsible AI, who has not even thought about the data quality and all. So that has to change. Only then you can actually be successful in your AI initiatives, all your AI initiatives.
It is. Oftentimes, I think people are just trying to jump into like, let me implement AI right now, or like, what can I do right now? It's like you got to go back to still fundamentals and level set everyone because we see in a lot of the trainings and just like workshops is like there's everyone comes at different level of experience with AI or
Mhm.
acceptance of AI. So some who's never touched it, someone's like, yeah, I dabbled it, or I kind of know about it, and I didn't have a good experience, and probably because they weren't really properly trained on how to use it. Other folks like I'm pretty proficient in it. That's a small percentage, maybe 5% of all the people we talk to. So like if you're looking to bring this into your company or you're a leader, running a department or your organization, you kind of have to level set the literacy, right? AI 101 first. And then from there, break it into, so like, for example, like Ulta, right? They're the makeup company. They were looking to, optimize and streamline their marketing campaigns, right? The email
Right.
campaigns. So like now you have to break down the conversation. So you have a company-wide kind of like training, then you break it to departments. Have the departments uncover use cases. Where can we have quick wins right now? Right. So they're talking about, hey, emails. We have all these emails. How do we personalize this? How do we use the data sources and things like that to create better emails? So like they're looking to integrate like multiple sources, tailor the email, and allowing for dynamic and personalized messaging. Like that's the key. I think when email marketing fails, it's because it's templated. It sounds the same. But when you get an email that you feel like was meant for you, it was custom. That's because there was some proper built out workflow and data, and AI to make that work, right? So then by taking the efforts to build that right now, what happens? It reduces a whole bunch of manual efforts. The campaign production time delivers faster, and we've seen results like 40 to 70% time savings in just like marketing flows when you kind of build
Right.
the right processes. And then one of the data points here specific to Ulta was they achieved a 34.1% increase in conversion rates and a 95% decrease in production time.
Yep.
95%. I mean,
That's amazing.
you
Yep.
know, showing the power of AI driven personalization, right? So like,
Yeah.
I think people, if uh, and I would be cautious too. I think a lot of email tools out there, marketing tools are touting AI, you have to look at the system. If you don't understand it, and most people aren't technical, right? If you're an owner or even as a marketer, because you don't really understand how they built it from a coding standpoint. So
Right.
sometimes you have to trial and error to try different systems because it's such a buzzword, like, oh, it's AI driven personalization. I would highly recommend sampling it. Maybe get a 14-day trial or a month trial if some of these software tech companies will let you do that, just so to make sure it's the right fit for what you want it to do for you. Um, what's your take on that, Tony?
You're spot on. I mean, you need to have like, when it comes to marketing campaigns, and I have seen companies doing it, personalized marketing campaigns, if it is done right, you can have a lot of turnover. You can get a more turnover than from the traditional marketing when doing email blast to like same thing to everyone, same content, whereas personalized content to everyone can have like a lot more turnover rate than the previous marketing efforts. So I have seen that in other companies too.
Yeah, and we talked about the chatbot in the beginning. I think
Yeah.
low hanging fruit, something very easy for anyone to really kind of experience AI, is to use an AI chatbot that can have a really great conversation with you. When I say
Right.
conversation, it could opt to talk to you, right? You can even
Yeah.
do a video, or you can just have a great conversation just chatting. Traditional chatbots, right? You have to like manually build it. You have to think about all the possible different workflows and like give it here's the canned templated response.
Yeah.
I've seen some AI bots that they are truly AI bots. They still don't do a good job having engagement and communication because it goes back to the data, what you and I talked about earlier. There wasn't enough data to feed that bot. So think of that just like a brain, right? If you're building something, there wasn't enough information for that bot to
Yeah.
really learn. But over time, or two things we always recommend is get all the information, right? Get the information centralized, cleaned up, put it in there, and then from a longevity standpoint, have a process where every time you have fresh data, have it come in and keep feeding that database, feeding that brain, so that the chatbot is getting smarter, just like an employee. As the employee works year one, maybe not as great as maybe answering questions and problem solving from a customer service standpoint, but if they've been there for 10 years, they just have a wealth of knowledge. And that's where I see chatbots, if they're giving good data, um, and refinement, the experience for the end user is much better. And we're hearing customer service reps and even sales reps saying this is saving us a tons of time because people can engage with a chatbot on their website.
Yep, yep, yep. And usually companies and organizations implement these chatbots internally. So, so that to enhance the employee experience, which includes, the sales or the marketing functions, and it's been very productive. One of the things I would recommend, organizations when they start the AI journey with assistants is to like have proper security controls implemented, access controls implemented, so that the chatbot actually, like the assistant, can actually like go and pull all the information from whatever it has access to, right? So you need to make sure the access controls and all the security controls are in place, and the output is also like you have a policy. This is where the responsible AI policy has to be implemented, making sure the content is based on, it's not like anything not adhering to the standards or the company policies are generated. So yeah, there are things that needs to be taken care of.
I know. Sorry, I had to unmute myself. One other like future state, which is not far fetched, right? Is I mean, some of this is happening now, but it still has to get refined. Is imagine having the chatbot, right, engage with you. You're asking questions if it's about makeup or about HVAC, so whatever it's used for whatever company. But let's say it's the makeup, and it says, you know what, turn on your camera. Let me see what you're doing with the product. And you're grabbing the phone and you're like, oh, here's the product. It recognizes the label. It recognizes the Ulta brand, it looks at your skin, it recognizes, it's analyzing your skin, and in real
Yep.
time, it's giving you feedback. It's actually telling you how to put it on. Like, these are all things that's capable with the
Yep.
with the features, where it can talk to you just like as if it was a person. It can see just like a person, and it's
Mhm.
tapped into this huge knowledge base, right, to get
Right.
feedback and recommendations that's accurate from other people that have similar skin and also have bought that product. And if you have any sensitivities, those are the types of context and things that you can share with it, and it's really
Right.
providing that personalization.
And not only that, right now, and I would say it's text only, right? You chat, which is not the right. I would say that's not a great experience. I would rather call and then talk to the AI assistant over the phone. That is the most coolest thing, and that's going to come. It's already there, right? And more organizations are going to have that kind of experience implemented in the customer service. So, which is going to be amazing.
All right, we have a couple minutes or so left here, Tony, and people need to kind of just summarizing, like, maybe what's the biggest takeaway for them to begin, that's going to give them the biggest impact but low effort, low risk.
Yep. Yeah. So again, try to come up with an AI strategy, as I mentioned, and then do the data, an assessment of their existing data. Make sure you have quality data set, clean all the data that you can feed into the model. Or choose the right, and then come up with the most impactful AI use cases that are relevant to them, and take one or two of those use cases, implement it one end to end, and when you have that selection of or listing of AI use cases, the next thing is to like choose the model or the solution that maps to that particular use case, and then implement it end to end, and continuously monitor the performance of the model. Make sure and also measure. You need to have that, the success criteria already defined. Continuously measure the success criteria, whether I achieved it, by and that's how you can actually have a successful AI journey.
Yeah, you
These
gotta
are the
always
things to keep in mind. Yeah.
you always do need to kind of keep the bigger picture in mind, like what does success look like, because you can get down multiple rabbit holes just trying to do a lot
Yeah.
of things. So if it feels overwhelming, just like, what's the biggest impact I need help with now? And you could also, using free, either ChatGPT, the free version, Perplexity is another great tool for search. That's free. These all have paid versions, but the free version. Gemini, ask Gemini or ChatGPT or Perplexity and say, here's my role, here's my company. I'm trying to identify a very low lift AI opportunity within my company. What is that? And like, it will give you an answer. I think oftentimes, people feel like they need to kind of spend a lot of time and mull over this, but leverage the AI to help you with your AI.
Rightly said. Yeah.
Tony, thanks again. I always enjoyed our conversation. It was, today was kind of short and concise, and looking forward to our next one.
Thanks, Kang. Bye.
Oh, one more thing before we leave, just for folks who maybe not follow you too much. Tony, how can they get a hold of you?
I'm active on LinkedIn, so they can follow me on LinkedIn. And yep,
Okay, great.
or reach out to me in my company email too. So yeah.
Yep. Same here on LinkedIn, Kamin Tharath, or search for us at Compound Effect. No, our website is getcompoundeffect.com. All right, everyone, stay curious, and look forward to hearing some feedback from folks out there, playing around with different AI use cases.
Thank you. Bye.